I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, in his fourth indictment, this one in Georgia. And like the third one, it's related to 2020.
The defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election results.
Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis said defendants, plural. There are 18 Trump associates also facing numerous charges,
including violation of oath by a public officer and filing false documents. All of the defendants have been charged with violating Georgia's racketeering law, which carries a maximum prison sentence of 20 years. In addition to Mr. Trump, the indicted defendants include his former White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, and some of his former attorneys, including Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell.
Fox's Jonathan Seri outside the courthouse. The former president posted on Truth Social early this morning, the witch hunt continues, calling the DA out of control and corrupt, and they waited to indict till the middle of the presidential campaign, and many Republicans support him.
I'm pissed.
Senator Ted Cruz tells Fox's Hannity,
this is disgraceful, it is wrong, and it is an abuse of power by angry Democrats.
The Democratic leaders of the House and Senate, Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, put out a statement. No one is above the law, and this fourth Trump indictment portrays a repeated pattern of criminal activity. Now the wildfire disaster in Hawaii.
Whoever got out there alive is the lucky ones. Like I said, 30 seconds, it wasn't even minutes, you just had to go.
Etan Krupnik is among the many whose house burned down in Lahaina, where it's up to 99 people confirmed dead. Only 3 have been identified so far. As cadaver dogs search the ashes and ruins, more than 1,000 people remain unaccounted for. There's a new report from the UN today warning about ISIS. While it no longer has Islamic State territory in Iraq and Syria, the terror group still has 5,000 to 7,000 members and is still recruiting. America's listening to Fox News.
Starting August 22nd, the U.S. dollar may have new competition from a new global supercurrency backed by Russia and China. And if the dollar plummets, your retirement could follow. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I recommend a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold by texting the word shelter to 989898. I encourage you to act before August 22nd. Text shelter to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold now.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We mentioned the worry about ISIS still operating and recruiting overseas. A 17-year-old in Pennsylvania is a terror suspect, accused of communicating with an al-Qaeda-affiliated group.
This individual was also sending and receiving media containing terrorist propaganda and guidance on committing to criminal acts, including how to construct a bomb.
FBI Philadelphia Special Agent in Charge Jacqueline McGuire says the unnamed teen had access to a significant number of firearms, had purchased items commonly used to make improvised explosive devices, and appeared to be taking steps to travel overseas to join or support terrorist activity. Now he's facing multiple charges, including weapons of mass destruction, criminal conspiracy, and arson. Lisa Brady, Fox News.
A disaster in Russia. A fire broke out at a car repair shop in the Dagestan region, then spread to a gas station which exploded. At least 35 people were killed, and of the 115 others injured, 11 are in grave condition. Russia inflicted more death and destruction on Ukraine, killing at least 3 people in new missile attacks.
This large-scale aerial assault focused on parts of Ukraine far from the front lines. The western region of Lviv and Volyn to the northwest were attacked, causing dozens of casualties. 100 houses among the buildings damaged. The mayor of Lviv says many missiles were shot down, but admits some did find their targets. He's posted a video standing at a crater in front of a multi-story building which has all its windows blasted out. What appears to be playground debris is scattered around. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Texas is taking Planned Parenthood to court. A federal judge today will consider the state's lawsuit aimed at getting the abortion provider to pay back millions of dollars in Medicaid reimbursements. Later this hour, we'll get a gauge of consumer spending, which is key to the economy. Retail sales last month. Ahead of that on Wall Street, Dow futures are down almost 300 points. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. I'm Joe Miller. A new law bans firearms advertising that target kids, militant groups, and others. The governor signing the Firearm Industry Responsibility Act. Illinois is now the 8th state with legislation eliminating legal protections for gun manufacturers or distributors. Move came just a day after the Supreme Court of the state upheld the state's assault weapons ban. One person is dead after a small plane crashing outside Verdon over the weekend. The Coupon County Sheriff's Office and other emergency crews responded to the crash Saturday. The pilot, the only person on board the single-engine plane. The NTSB now investigating the cause. Illinois is now the first state to make sure child social media influencers are appropriately compensated for their work. Bill that goes into effect July of next year. Some parents are profiting off their children's social media status and cutting the kids out of their own earnings. Illinois is the first to specifically mention social media. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
All right, good Tuesday morning. It is the 15th of August. We're back in school for the most part, at Unit 4 anyway. I think Urbana, probably the same kind of thing. And here we go. The Fighting Illini get to play football 2 weeks from Saturday. We're all kind of gearing up for all of that. Our
Campus Town busy with move-in day.
Oh boy,
all week.
You'll have to drone me because I'm not going to campus right now. There's just no chance.
That's right.
Weather brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you you can make sure your kids' physical and back to school and sports physicals are done at a convenient location near you. Visit carl.org for details.
Well, low 60s this morning, it's a fake because coming up, Greg Solier, our meteorologist, has got like 100 and some heat indices here coming up next week or something. Is this right?
That is correct. Yeah, we've seen everything this summertime season, from a pattern shift from the spring that had timely rains. We got in the fields generally okay, a few delays here and there. Then we completely turned the rain off and went into a largely dry spell, but didn't have anything really tough on the heat department. We got the rains to come on back. Temp stayed in check. Humidity came back up. So this is the next, I guess, in the series of servings for summertime around here. And thank goodness it'll be mid to late August versus mid-July. Easily the weather guide could be penciling in triple-digit actual high air temperatures, but we won't. But it'll feel that way, and then some, and probably the advanced maps and charts would think that a warm beginning to September, a warm football Saturday evening expected come the 2nd of September as well, although I think the worst of the heat will be at least temporarily waning. Not real hot out there this morning, obviously. A bit of a north wind. The cloud cover beginning to break in some areas north of Champaign County. Coming off some big rains to our north over the past couple of days. 62 at Willard and Savoy. Later on this afternoon, up to about 75. The average high this time of the year, about 83. Skies turn partly sunny. North breeze clear. Cooler tonight. We'll be down in the 50s. Tomorrow, sunshine near 80. Another fast-moving cold front in here late tomorrow night into early on Thursday. May warrants a quick shower, especially Thursday morning. The high up to 82 and a gusty southwest to west wind. We'll be in the 50s Friday morning. 78 the high. That's okay. 86 on Saturday. That's the way it ought to be for the time of year, with temperatures in the 50s to start there. Then comes the heat. Probably a good 7-day spell of that for openers. 93 Sunday, 94 Monday, up around 95, 96 degrees next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Okay, thank you, Greg. So I wore a light jacket here this morning, kind of like a basketball warm-up. Brother Johnny's jumped in. He's in town. Good to have Johnny here.
Got my brand new Fighting Illini sweatshirt on.
Looks good on you, too.
It probably won't be much longer.
Yeah, right. You take it off, and then presumably we get to fall. But this, I thought last couple of weeks were going to be the hottest. Now this will be probably the hottest. And we'll get through it, and we'll play football here in a couple of weeks. Okay, so the big news was Donald Trump gets his 4th indictment last night in Atlanta.
The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result.
Here you've got a DA who's trying to raise their profile, this is nothing more than a witch hunt here.
I did speak exclusively with the former president last night. President Trump told me, quote, "This politically inspired indictment, which could have been brought close to 3 years ago, was tailored for placement right smack in the middle of my political campaign, where I am leading all Republicans." Late last night, Trump was indicted along with 18 others, including his one-time personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, attorneys John Eastman, Sidney Powell, and former Trump White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows. Now, these charges come after a years-long criminal investigation investigation led by Georgia state prosecutors over his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election in the state.
Okay, so why do I feel so sad this morning? Is it the crumbling of our system before our very eyes? Is it the fact that Marion County, Kansas gets a 1,900-person population town ransacked because of journalism kerfuffle with the police because they were looking into the police and the sheriff's background and they took all their computers? Is Donald Trump right when he says they're not coming after me, they're coming after you? It feels like the whole thing's falling apart because you're seeing all this thing, and here's the DA in Atlanta getting a full makeover and having a fundraiser 3 days ago. It just isn't fair from the standpoint of Lady Justice being blind when you could probably get anybody, Stacey Abrams, Hillary Clinton, anybody on racketeering because you didn't believe the election returns. So when is it a crime to question the election and when isn't it? How are you going to draw that line? It is very troubling to me, and it's not just because it's Donald Trump. This is not what we want to do with our justice system. You don't want to have to go to a red state to get a fair trial or a blue state to get a fair trial. It should not be that way, and it feels that way.
Well, I think that we've been seeing this for 6 or 7 years as far as these outrageous moves in every direction. I mean, I go back to a guy beating the women's record. Not only he wins, he's decided he wants to be a woman. Then he's allowed in the locker room, and the girls have to suffer that humiliation or uncomfortableness, and they can't say anything or they could lose their scholarship or even be expelled. This is what's happening now. And I throw that out there. It's not on the subject. Yes, it is. The people who came up with that's fair, this is okay, are running the country. So obviously they're like, we've got to stop Trump somewhere. Well, let's charge him criminally. What for? And they're coming up with it. What they're accusing him of, we've seen on the other side, probably more so. But at least, let's just call it tied. They're not even talking about it. They did anything wrong ever. Yeah. And it's a real problem because they're using every institution we have that we entrusted them with it's abuse because they're going after people who have other opinions in a free country where we're supposed to try to come up with the best answer.
But I guess
they're shutting them up and trying to put them in jail.
From the standpoint of terminology, this is the opposition, right? You hear this in other countries where Trump's the opposition, you have to stop the opposition. And so it's it is a phenomenal thing that's going on because now he's been indicted 4 times. How are you possibly going to campaign when you're doing court?
Well, if he has to go to court, he isn't. But on the other hand, he gets a lot of press. And I just got to believe people who see that this isn't fair. I mean, just think about Ukraine. Joe shook down the Ukraine. And they impeached Trump for doing it, which he didn't do it. And so it's the same old, same old. I'm not paying any attention to it. At this point, it's on us. We see what they're doing. If you can't see what's happening, then I don't think you can fix it. You have to understand the problem before you can do anything about it. And if you can look at what's going on here, and like you say, let's not even talk about Donald Trump. We've seen across the political spectrum all kinds of things, and they're definitely it's an uneven playing field. Most Americans don't like that.
No, I worry about the way we look in front of the world and our reputation and all of that in front of our world leaders.
Well, it's also our stabilizing effect has been compromised. So there's more, let's just say, volatility possible, like the war in Ukraine. I think that's a direct result of America being a little less of an intimidating threat to do something about it or a deterrent to do something.
Well, Donald Trump's numbers go up every time something like this goes on. Now, the question is it enough to get him in as president? And as I understand, this racketeering in Florida is a state charge, which is more complicated. A president can't be pardoned from a state charge. A governor can, but not that's not pardonable from a president.
Well, they're pulling out everything in the book.
Well, and they're trying to get everybody to flip. They charge 19 people. They're trying to get somebody to say, okay, here's what happened.
Well, they're going to have it appealed, and I don't think the Supreme Court's going to allow them to stop somebody from running.
My understanding is pretty hard to get a state racketeering charge dismissed. They were going to let them present their evidence and go through the process, but you're talking about Fulton County. DeKalb County down there. I mean, you're going to lose. You're going to get convicted in something in Washington, D.C., where 95% vote Biden. It's just a remarkable thing that you can think that this isn't going to be fair, but how can that happen in America?
Well, it hasn't been fair. We'll see what happens.
All right, more on this coming up. It is a quarter after sports headlines.
Well, the Cardinals win. The final was 7-5. There's a 6:45 start here on ESPN 93.5 this evening. Let's get your Redbird recap.
They feel like good football.
That's not what I was looking for. Time out.
I've been super impressed with Aaron since he.
Brett Bielema's coming up. Let me see if I can get this. That's not it. I have no idea. All right, Cardinals win. The Oakland A's are not very good, and they walked 9 batters for the Cardinals. That's helpful.
Okay.
9 batters.
Dakota Hudson to the mound as we hear the action here on ESPN 93.5. And over across the hallway at Stevie Jay Broadcasting, we'll have the Chicago Cubs in action against crosstown rivals, the Chicago White Sox. Kyle Hendricks to the mound. That's a 7:05 start over on US 105.9.
I finally have the recap.
Okay.
Stand by.
The Cardinals collect a come-from-behind victory, defeating the A's 7-5 last night at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals lead 3-2 in the 7th, thanks in large part to a Paul Goldschmidt 2-run home run. The A's then put up 3 runs in the top of the 7th to take a short-lived lead as the Cardinals answer in a big way in the bottom of the 7th, collecting 4 runs to take the 7-5 lead. Miles Michaelis starts the game, allowing 4 runs and 6 in the 3rd innings, but 2 of those runs were inherited runners that were allowed to score when Giovanni Gallegos came on to pitch in relief of Michaelis. Neither Michaelis or Gallegos factor into the decision. Gallegos is charged with a blown save and does not get the win because the official scorer considered his outing brief and ineffective. Jojo Romero records the final 4 outs and is credited with the win. Game 2 of the series is tonight at Busch Stadium. Dakota Hudson is on the mound looking to add to his 3-0 record. Game time is 6:45. We'll be on the air at 5:50. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
The Women's World Cup is trending with Spain over Sweden 2-1, Australia and England in the second semifinal due to come up. We've also got the preseason poll for football. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU in the top 5.
Well, we have 5 of the top 10. We have Washington in there, so the Big Ten's going to be when we get Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA.
And USC.
We if you do the math, we're 43. We got a few votes, so
Well,
we're
I
ranked
don't
43.
know. I didn't know Washington was coming into the.
Yeah, Washington, Oregon. That's new last week.
Yeah.
Washington, Oregon. So now we got 18.
You got to be kidding.
Weather brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
And they remind you some great programs coming up this fall. If you want to learn more, just visit urbanaparks.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Van Ham this Saturday. Going forward for the rest of the week, pretty quiet and eventful spell of weather. Next weather system on the maps and charts for late tomorrow night into Thursday will generate some gusty winds and perhaps a couple of showers around Thursday morning. After that, that fast-moving weather system departs in a pattern shift, heralds the arrival of another big hot high. This one likely to be centered right over the Midwest, the Corn Belt, and East Central Illinois over the course of the weekend. More so back into the weekend and much of next week and probably beyond. Frequent high temperatures up well past the 90-degree mark. Not today, though. Becoming partly sunny this afternoon. North wind in 75. Clear, more comfortable tonight. Cooler 56. Tomorrow sunny and 79 to 80 in the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night to 57. And for the day on Thursday, maybe a quick shower chance early to mid-morning. Partly sunny, breezy, and 82. 78 and sun-filled on Friday. 86 Saturday. 93 Sunday. Mid-90s next Monday and Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
UC Bank, leading the way to your financial wellness. No matter where your financial journey begins, Pathways banking options at Busey are designed with your goals in mind. UC Bank, building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Global stocks are under pressure with concerns about the impact of China's economic slump. China's central bank lowered interest rates today. Reports just released in China indicate spending growth by consumers and businesses slowed, and growth in factory output remains disappointing. Home Depot's earnings are better than expected, though it's seeing some softness in demand for big ticket items. Spending on smaller home improvement projects is holding up. Also, Home Depot is buying back $15 billion worth of its stock. Shares of D.R. Horton, NVR, and Lennar are all higher after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway disclosed in a government filing that it purchased more than $800 million worth of the home builder's shares in the spring quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
I'm Dana Perino, co-host of The Five and co-anchor of America's Newsroom. Join me for my brand new podcast, Perino on Politics. Listeners of Everything Will Be Okay will gravitate toward this podcast too. Every Monday, I'm going to talk to people I trust in politics as they tell me what they're seeing and thinking in the 2024 election cycle. As they prep me to cover the upcoming election, make sure you subscribe to this series on FoxNewsPodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts and leave a rating and review.
This podcast will debut Monday, August 21st.
Trying to sell your home, you want to get it sold. And you also want to get the right price. Well, you might go with someone who has done this for a minute, and that'd be the Nate Evans Group.
And they're very invested in the community. I know the Muhammad Music Festival is coming up towards the end of the month here. Chris Jansen on stage. Nate Evans and the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty can get you that immediate cash offer on your home. There's flexible fees. You sell your home for the most money possible. And you can check out the secret list of homes if you're looking for the perfect property, that coming soon program that you can't get access to anywhere else. A friend you can trust, you call and talk about your timeline and visit with the only agent I would call if I needed to sell my home. It's Nate Evans at 217-239-7113, or it's a simple online search to Nate Evans Group to start packing.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to the
What kind of bedside manner would you like your doctor to have? At Roof Doctors, they make sure you feel good about what they can do for you. They make sure they answer all of your questions and feel comfortable about whatever procedure your roof needs. Roof Doctors has helped customers for over 30 years. Randy and Tammy have helped make lives better in our community with their generosity and kindness. Roof Doctors is the company you can trust if you need anything done on your roof. Roof Doctors in Urbana, they make you their number one priority.
When we put family first, we create moments that last a lifetime. We pass memories down through generations. We can all declare, I remember when.
Far side, right. Pat Bryant, touchdown. Isaiah Williams turns upfield, 45, 40. Trouble, he's sacked. Seth Coleman.
It's your turn to create these memories. Illinois football season tickets are on sale now for as low as $99 at fightingillini.com.
This is Eric Bolin with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company is looking for drivers with their CDL and great driving record to join their team. What a terrific company, invested in so many charities in our community and giving their staff opportunities for growth, health and dental insurance, paid time off for vacations, holidays, and family leave. This is the type of environment you've been looking for, drivers. Of course, Pepsi is an equal opportunity employer as they search for a good representative of the company to help with deliveries. Learn more online at PepsiColaCU.com.
Tapman's Towing, team of experienced tow professionals, is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
All right, so I'm going to talk more about the Donald Trump indictment. We'll do that here in just a few moments. You heard a little of the Brett Bielema because I couldn't push the right button. So Brett Bielema talking about his offensive line. And, you know, when he starts saying, Brett Bielema's been around 15 years as a head coach, very successful, won 3 Rose Bowl championships with Wisconsin, and took, Arkansas to 3 bowls in 5 years. So he knows how to coach. He knows how to do this. But how about this O-line? Can I start thinking Rose Bowl here?
Yeah, they feel like good football players, right? We're going to take one game at a time. We're concentrating on camp, and we'll get ready for Toledo, and all of our focus is on that. I think anytime you try to jump to the end of the line, not only as a team but within a position group, we have 2 players in Julian Pearl and Isaiah Adams, who in my coaching career are literally 2 of the better guys I've ever had at that position.
2 of the better guys he's ever had at that position. Nice. Wisconsin generally has some pretty big horses up there. So that is very curious. What about this Aaron Henry? Remember, the defensive coordinator for the Fighting Illini took the job at Purdue. He's the head man at Purdue, and so there you go. We got to go against him. But how's Aaron Henry taking over that job?
I've been super impressed with Aaron since he got here. I knew him as a player. I knew him as a young coach, but 3 years ago when we started this thing up, I can't say at that time I'm like, okay, this is my next coordinator. But as this last year unfolded, I knew Walt. That 2 years ago he had a couple opportunities. This year, there were some opportunities that came for him as a head coach he didn't get, and I was preparing for that moment. Had no idea, obviously, that Purdue was going to happen as late as it did. But the part that I knew as soon as that happened was this was the guy. And since he's taken over, just been super impressed. His work ethic, his demeanor, his communication skills. A lot of times you can know a lot of things, but you can't communicate it. Aaron's got an uncanny way to communicate, not just with our players, but I've been very impressed how he handles his staff. Obviously, him and Antonio played together, so unique there. Him and J-Mo played together. Him and Andy Boo have known each other. Charlie Blowen new to the mix. I think Aaron would be the first to tell you how that defensive staff has bonded together and coached. And
we were really good defensively last year now, and I think there's a lot of optimism, particularly on our front 7. And could it be that the Fighting Illini have a front 7 that's comparable to anybody else?
Right.
I mean, we're talking some NFL players on that front 7. So anyway, it's something to be optimistic about.
Well, the pass rush is probably your key weapon if you can slow that quarterback, any other quarterback, down with the passing game. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. And we got the law firm they're calling it. Keith
and
Randolph.
In fact, the Chuck Bednarik award watch list, they made that yesterday. So our defensive line looking strong with Johnny Newton and Keith Randolph.
Those are the
Jr.
2 leaders, but this kid named Gabe Akis, and he's number 17. And to me, I'm old enough to remember the Simeon Rice days when Lou Tepper said you can't chart him because he's everywhere. You don't know, he's that kind of athlete. He's like 6'5" and flies around, that kind of guy. 260 pounds that goes through people very quick. So I mean, it's reason to be optimistic. Again, game 1 is Toledo. Let's just win that one.
And 10,000 new season tickets being sold. So
10,000 new season tickets being sold.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, that crowd helps.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Okay, so we got some more on the indictment here. Stand by. If you want to chime in, you're welcome. I don't think this is fair, and I don't think there's equal justice under the law. I think it's blatant. It feels like we've weaponized some areas of our government, which is really bad, because if you flip the tables, you wouldn't like it either if you're on the other side. You just want to be fair. So anyway, 217-359-2255. You have thoughts on the 4th Trump indictment. How can you possibly run for president when you have 4? And then, of course, they got to get to them now because you can't wait. You have to have a trial now. You're talking.
Well, first of all, they can delay these things, and I got to tell you, I don't think Trump needs a campaign anyway. This is really just okay. What do we all think of this? And it's on us. And if you're going to say, well, he's definitely got to go with all these accusations, then that's the way it'll go. And if not, like you say, it's unfair. Which I think it's just outrageous, by the way. That's my opinion. I've never seen anything quite like this.
Well, they could have charged him 3 years ago, right? They could have done this 3 years ago.
Well, they were doing it in every way possible 3 years ago.
But they're
trying
to
everything
time it for the campaign. So
right. But that's not a good strategy. What I'm telling you is that is not going to work with Trump. If it was Vivek, who's not very well known, and he didn't have time to go to Iowa, Trump doesn't need to go. We all know Trump, do you want him to be president or not? And that's I do because of how he did the first time. And the other thing, Steve, if let's just say Mickey Mouse was running, if I look at what they're doing and who's doing it to Donald Trump or Mickey, I would say Mickey's your man.
Yeah.
Just by who's working their whole life's work to stop him.
Isn't there a little martyrdom going on here? I mean, aren't they making Donald Trump a martyr?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at things, but I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, people in America do like the idea of fairness and opportunity for everything. A lot of our issues are, it's not fair for this group, or it's not fair for that. But we do like fairness, and we're not, this is pretty obviously unfair.
We'll be right back with more. Stand by.
Fox News, MCJ Papa State charges, including racketeering and conspiracy, filed against former President Donald Trump by the Fulton County District Attorney. Texas Senator Ted Cruz on Fox's Hannity moments before the official indictment dropped.
I'm pissed.
Hillary Clinton telling MSNBC she felt great profound sadness about the possibility of another Trump indictment. New Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew pushes back.
She's one of the corrupt, bad people who are destroying our republic. How dare she say that after she destroyed over 30,000 emails that she had with some important information on there.
The Republican last hour on Fox Business. 99 now confirmed dead in Hawaii, 1 week after the deadliest wildfire in modern U.S. history. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. I'm Joe Miller. No new nuclear reactor is going to be built in Illinois, not after the governor vetoed a bill that would have lifted a 1980 moratorium on the construction of new reactors. That might not be the end of the measure, though. The law passed in May with 3/5 majority in both chambers, meaning an override veto still possible. Illinois gun sellers taking their argument to the Supreme Court after last week's statewide assault weapons ban was upheld. Law Weapons in Naperville hosting a rally and fundraiser for their efforts. The owner says he stands to lose 85% of his business after the move by the Illinois Supreme Court. Champaign County Crime Stoppers asking the public for help in tracking down a bike rider who they say was responsible for the theft. Police said the theft happened in the area of Neal Street and Columbia Avenue July 9th. They didn't provide details about what was stolen or how it happened, but did provide a description and photos of that suspect. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
Weather brought to you by Watts Copy Systems. You want to call Greg Wolf, and you can get a free cost, no cost assessment. Is what he tried to say.
There we go.
So you can get it for free to find out if he can save you money.
Mm-hmm.
Watts Copy Systems, where service is more than a promise.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. Present Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity, and the weather system that brought meaningful and substantial rains to the northern Corn Belt and the Great Lakes areas of the Corn Belt, largely bypassing our neck of the woods to the north and south. Still auguring some gusty winds and some cloud cover over parts of the Midwest here, but we'll get breaks and some brighter skies as the day wears on. Next fast-moving system due in here late tomorrow night and Thursday with a quick shower mention and another realignment to the upper pattern. This time it brings that hot ridge of high pressure right overhead. Thank goodness it's mid to late August as opposed to July, but still, temperature readings expected to be well past the 90-degree mark beginning on Sunday. Becoming partly sunny for the day today up to 75 with a north wind, 8 to 16 miles per bit gusty. Tonight, mostly clear, cooler, and diminishing northwest to west wind, low down to 56. Tomorrow, sunny, the high near 80 in the afternoon as winds come around southwest to south. Partly sunny on Thursday, maybe a shower chance in the morning up to 82, 78 and sun-filled for the day on Friday, 80 Saturday, low 90s on Sunday. For Stevie Jay Podcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
You can text us. We're happy to take your text at 217-359-2255. We talk Donald Trump and the fourth indictment, the ramifications of it. What's it mean to us here in Champaign-Urbana?
217 texter, if they did that 3 years ago, the right would have been saying they didn't have time to investigate that.
And then if they do it 3 years later during the campaign, the right will say that's not fair. I mean, when you can bring up the same charges on 100 other people, it doesn't seem right. It's not going to happen to the Bidens. It didn't happen to Hillary. Not going to happen to Stacey Abrams, who still doesn't think she lost. Isn't that a crime to question the election like that?
No, that's what my point is. It's obviously not fair, and they're definitely one-sided and ignoring the same exact problems, if you want to call them that, on the other side in favor of winning an election.
You know, the latest on the Joe Biden calling into the business meetings and just, saying hi and talking about the weather. His attorney said, well, he's showing his father's love.
Yeah.
His father's love was to just kind of help his son say, hey, son, how you doing? Wouldn't any dad do that? And then I heard Jonathan Turley, who's a legal expert for Fox, say, hey, if my son's shaking down for millions, I'd call in. I'd say, hey, way to go, good job.
We have Jake texting in, and his point is the problem is the average American is not tuned into what's going on. They believe Trump is guilty of all this, and they know nothing of what is happening with the Biden family because it isn't covert the same. Only those who are really tuned in are the Trump supporters and have a small understanding of what is happening.
Well, going back to Johnny, it's on us. At this point, it's on us. If we're not going to be aware and understand what's going on, and I referenced this 10 times since yesterday, a little town in Kansas gets raided at their little newspaper shop that nobody reads and has all their computers and phones taken because they're questioning where the sheriff came from and what his background was. So what the heck is that? Well, so it's emblematic of what's happening. So we better be aware.
I think that there's a little more awareness than that. I think that people are tied up with it and they're not spending hours in front of the television. But I think there's a point at which you're like, you hear nothing but Trump, and then you see. One thing when I talk to people who disagree with about 80% of what I think, they still just say, well, they all do. Oh, it's all the same. Everybody, there's both sides. And they do see, even in passing, one side seems to be just getting piled on by the people who happen to get into power, and that doesn't seem like that's very likely. I think that there's some kind of at least subconscious understanding is this isn't right.
No, it doesn't feel right, and I think it's a precedent-setting deal. I mean, I don't want the Republicans to take over and start, going after Democrats like that. I don't want that, and the Republicans, I don't think would quite do the same. Or is that not right?
They might, but they wouldn't be as blatant about it. They have some sort of feeling of, well, no one's going to buy this.
Yeah, right.
And the Democrats have lost that. They'll say anything and everything. Going back to the guy, going in the girls' locker room who just beat all the girls because he's the guy, and they can't say anything about him undressing. Diane, I'd have been thrown in jail doing that.
I know that.
Arrested.
Right.
And now we're wrong for saying, how could you question that? And this girl said she didn't like it. Get her off the team.
Yeah, take her scholarship, right?
That's the logic we're dealing with here. This is the overt, crazy, radical, they'll do anything. And I don't think the Republicans would do that. They got some kind of, conscience or whatever.
I just wonder, though, again, we've been doing this thing for 250 years. Is it the Founding Fathers had some brilliance, there's no doubt, but did they count on the absolute greed and deceit and rot?
I think so. That's why they tried to spread the power. This hasn't changed. The difference you're seeing, what I think the difference is that openly saying, if you don't think a guy can have a baby, there's something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. That's what's different. You used to get caught doing something and you'd hang your head and say, darn it, got caught, sorry. Yeah. And I quit. But now it's like double down and no, I didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you did it wrong.
Yeah, I wonder if there's anything now that can be approached or said that would shock us.
No, not me.
No. Because with all the things regarding and surrounding the sound of freedom and this, child sex labor and sex trade and all these things going on.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
And we could do more about it with our technology.
Why aren't we?
I don't know.
Why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we, stopping drugs from coming across the border? Why aren't we?
Another example of this kind of openly just sticking to the story is that Russian collusion thing, which the Democrats were actually involved in.
Yeah.
They 2 years they spent hammering Trump, told us all the Trumps are going to jail.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything, and yet even today, that's not really a story. Move on. Look what Trump did now. And it's like, how many times do you accuse a guy and he didn't do it? Are you going to believe the people accusing him?
Why so much after him? Why?
Because he's wrecking the playhouse. This isn't the plan. He's not a made man. He is an outsider. And people are worried about what he's going to do, their overall game plan, which I'm not sure what that is.
The institution is threatened.
I guess whatever that is.
Whatever that is. And I said in 2015, I don't like the club-like feel of Republicans and Democrats in the same suits at the same country club kind of getting along because they all got the power. I don't like that. And so they gave us Trump.
Well, we have a big movement with some very powerful people and very smart people that would like to have more of a centralized global effect so that more of the 7 billion people could have more. That's the theory, which sounds great. Trump, that's not going to work. We're more of the United States of America. We're exceptional. We've led the way. You can't keep doing that. You got to spread the wealth. That's the battle. And Trump's kind of a threat to that.
Well, there's no doubt he doesn't believe in that,
and so
they got to stop him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can see they've done a lot.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, Diane. This is where I got to tell you. How is Trump holding up? How many people could stand up before just collapsing into a fetal position?
Right.
Because
absolutely,
he's just being pummeled.
217 texter, you guys are conspiracy theorists.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for listening.
I don't know if there's now when 5 states get together to indict a guy for some reason because he's running for president. Are we the conspiracy theorists? I don't think that's a conspiracy. That's the news.
Yeah, it's a head shaker. If you want to text us, 217-359-2255. We appreciate your input. We really do. Mm-hmm. You're welcome to text in. It's just, again, when you start this, where does it all end? I mean, how far? I don't want to go down this path. I don't want to go after our political opponents and come up with some sort of a law that they broke. Because again, we all break the law every day in some fashion, and it's kind of a set of rules we agreed to follow. And when it feels like a society is kind of picking and choosing, I mean, Gumps is that the name of the place in San Francisco? It's been a department store for 166 years. He thinks this will be their last Christmas. They can't deal with the looting. They can't deal with all the things going on.
Well, and that's right.
And so you have traditions like that. San Francisco's a mess. Los Angeles is a mess. I mean, you're allowing all this. And what does Coach Mike Ditka, one of the famous quotes, you get what you tolerate?
Well, Steve, I got to tell you, and you're probably aware, but with just the text, we're conspiracy theorists, which could be insurgency, which could be hate speech. Yeah. We could easily be arrested for talking about this with what's going on. Now, we may not be having the perceived impact and hasn't gotten that far maybe, but there's no question there are people that have suffered just for talking openly about what we're talking about, but being on the wrong side of it.
Well, there's nobody else in this market talking about it. I promise you. There's nobody going to talk about this anymore because it's too sensitive.
Right.
You'll be a conspiracy theorist. I mean, what the heck? Remember the funny looking thing in Atlanta? Was it Fulton County in Atlanta that were dragging out these boxes after the witnesses had gone home, and presumably were counting votes after? And I looked at that and a fact check, that wasn't true. It's ludicrous. Well, based on what? You know, if you're looking at, 2,000 Mules and Dinesh D'Souza, where these people are coming up, there's all these camera views, all these pictures of people dropping all these ballots, from their shirt, and they're pulling all these things. You go, well, that didn't have an impact. Well, wait a minute.
Now, let me tell you about another conspiracy theory, and I'm not promoting this, but I wasn't watching Fox News or MSNBC, but I was watching the various channels, the voting results on election night. Somebody, somehow, or let me just put it this way. It so happened that at about 2 a.m, 7 or 8 swing states stopped counting votes at the same time. That wasn't a bad report. That was just watching television. Well, we can't. They got a delay. They got a water pipe.
Water pipe broke.
There was something in Nevada. There was something in Wisconsin. Well, they're waiting for a big, quote, dump. And it's rational to think maybe they're just waiting to see how many votes they need. And so but that's not a wild idea. It's like, how could that happen?
We need to have real-time video on all of the places that are counting votes.
Well, they can do a lot of the rules. Like if you have same-day registration, and I guess under the concern that you don't have in 4 years, there's no way you can get in to register. You got to do it the day of the election.
Right.
Then you don't even know how many votes are out because they could have had X number of people register. And how do you control anything like that? Now, Jimmy Carter said you can't do too many absentee mail-in ballots. You can't control it. That was a Jimmy Carter commission with James Baker in 2005. The biggest threat to voter integrity is the mail-ins.
217 texter Jim says the reality is the Democrats are turning America into a banana republic. 217 texter, it's called conspiracy with intent. Okay. 745.
Who's the conspirator in that one?
I think the people that are probably doing the bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean, you have intent
with the intent.
Yeah.
They are. It is a conspiracy to get what you want done.
If you think that you've got the Nazi Adolf Hitler as your president, won't you cheat because you have to save the world?
Yeah. No, there's a rationale there.
Yeah,
Again, I'm going back to the girls who have to put up with a guy dressing with them, and that kind of rationale will get you anywhere.
It's a really far out rationale.
I have to go to that reality for me to get back to square one as to why could this be happening?
How can this be happening?
those people think like that.
Yeah. 746. That's a pretty big divide.
That's a big one.
It's a big divide. Okay, we've got 746, Dr. Todd. There's a little parvo going around with dogs. So
I heard about that.
we will tell you that's a bad little disease sickness thing.
Yeah.
We'll do that coming up in a moment. Quick check of our morning sports here, 217-359-2255. Text me. Here we go, Diane.
St. Louis Cardinals winners over the A's. 7-5 was the final. It's a 6:45 first pitch. Dakota Hudson on the mound here at ESPN 93.5. Chicago White Sox and the Cubs were both off yesterday to gear up for a game from Wrigley tonight. You'll hear the action over on US 105.9. With the 7:05 start, always fun to watch the action with fellow fans wearing White Sox or Cubs gear at Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue. The Chuck Badnarik Award watch list for the defensive line with Johnny Newton and Keith Randolph Jr., our law firm, getting on the list. We also had Johnny Newton on the Walter Camp Award watch list. We're gearing up for a great season ahead. September 2nd is when we'll get out of the gate against the Toledo Rockets with a 6:30 start. Women's World Cup action, Spain over Sweden, Australia and England in the second semifinal coming up. That's Sports Time, Diane Ducey.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity, and the weather system that brought meaningful and substantial rains to the northern Corn Belt and the Great Lakes areas of the Corn Belt, largely bypassing our neck of the woods to the north and south. Still auguring some gusty winds and some cloud cover over parts of the Midwest here, but we'll get breaks and some brighter skies as the day wears on. Next fast-moving system due in here late tomorrow night, Thursday, with a quick shower mention and another realignment to the upper pattern. This time, it brings that hot ridge of high pressure right overhead. Thank goodness it's mid to late August as opposed to July, but still, temperature readings expected to be well past the 90-degree mark beginning on Sunday. Becoming partly sunny for the day today up to 75 with a north wind 8 to 16 miles per bit gusty. Tonight, mostly clear, cooler, and diminishing northwest to west wind low down to 56. Tomorrow, sunny, the high near 80 in the afternoon as winds come around southwest to south. Partly sunny on Thursday, maybe a shower chance in the morning up to 82, 78 and sun filled for the day on Friday, 80 Saturday, low 90s on Sunday. For Stevie Jay Podcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Wouldn't it be nice to visit a car dealership where you didn't feel like you were at an auction? Or didn't feel like you were being taken to the cleaners?
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Welcome to Sarah Champagne. At Sarah, they offer a one-price promise. Every vehicle at a fair price, no negotiation, only the best price. Sarah Champagne, Honda, BMW, GMC, Buick, and Subaru. SERRA Champagne.com.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. Take a look around your home. Is it finally ready for some much-needed updates? If you don't know where to start, then just meet with one of our experts. We'll help you find the perfect waterproof plank floor for your kitchen or that stain-resistant, super soft carpet for your bedroom. Finish your room update with a custom sofa and chairs, or choose a trendy in-stock dining set that's priced right. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Illini pizza fans at Jets Pizza, they know how to build the perfect pizza. Detroit style is one of them. Fresh made dough pressed into steel pans inspired by the Motor City. Topped with premium mozzarella, Mama Jet's secret sauce, fresh toppings, then baked to the thickest, crispiest, cheesy crunch. Jets is Detroit style pizza. Now build your perfect 3-topping large pizza for just $16.99. You pick your favorite 3 toppings and build the perfect Jets Pizza. A large 3-topping pizza, just $16.99. Online code TOP3. Jets Pizza. Better because it has to be.
During challenging times, family and health come first. This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. Many of us have spent the past year feeling a little bit out of control. There are steps you can take to help plan for a better financial future. Now is the time to take action and create a financial plan that's right for you. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA, SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Diane Ducey here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, it's always a good time to sell your home.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to thenateevansgroup.com.
All right, every Tuesday we catch up with Dr. Todd Likens, pet pro, veterinarian, Madison, Kirby, and Champaign, where they have like 900 puppies right now. How are you, Todd?
Yeah, maybe more like 1,000, it feels like.
Yeah, 15 puppies at one time. The boofer has already spoken.
Yes.
He wanted to tell me about parvovirus. What is parvovirus and what's happening?
Well, first of all, parvovirus is a highly preventable disease. It's a virus, and we have a very strong traditional vaccine that works quite effectively. But you got to vaccinate your dog. If you're not vaccinated, your dog's at risk. And basically, there's limited spaces in hospitals. I don't even take these cases in because if you take it in, you've got to have an isolation area because it's contagious to other dogs. And if you're doing it at home, well, I don't think you're going to want to clean up all the bloody vomit, the bloody stools, and the nasty smells that go along with this disease. Basically, they lose the lining of their intestine. And so for getting a simple vaccine, this is the way to prevent it. Now, dogs that are at risk, young dogs, for sure. You should think twice about going to public areas with an under-vaccinated dog because they're the ones that die from it. Older dogs have a better chance of survival, but again, it's expensive, and you go to the dog park, and that's where you can pick it up. So be sure your dog's well vaccinated, and you can feel safe if you've done that.
Yeah, that's I loved initially the dog park idea, but boy, for that reason, it makes you pause, doesn't it?
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's like going to daycare. They're going to pick up all the latest diseases and things if they go there. So if your pet's well vaccinated, you can be comfortable. If your pet is not well vaccinated, you shouldn't be there until they are. It's something I'm always riding that fence on a young dog. Socialization with other dogs is important, but if your dog, you got to know the other dog's not going to have a disease to give to your puppy. It's just something you got to be careful with. Yep. So in me, I'm the type that with puppies on the ground that they're too young to vaccinate. The only protection they got is from the mom. I'll be changing clothes even before I go in the house.
Well,
it's just too much risk that I could carry at home.
So if somebody has parvovirus with their dog and you don't want them in the office, what do they do?
Yeah, that's just it. You're very limited. I mean, I'll see them as outpatient, but we're immediately going into disinfectant mode, and then they do basically home care type things, or they try to transfer to a place that's got an isolation unit. And from what I'm hearing, those places are hard to get into. They're full, and so it's just something that's pricey, and not everybody can afford that.
And how long does it take for this to run its course?
Well, I generally find 3 to 5 days. They'll either survive or be dead.
Wow.
It's one of those type things. And again, I just can't say enough. If your dog's not current on its vaccine for this one, this is what we consider a core vaccine. This is one you want to do.
Okay. Dr. Todd Likens, Pet Pro. Puppies are doing well?
Everybody's happy. Moms are happy. We got one of our moms is a toy hoarder. every time she gets out of the box, we have a stash of toys we've brought up, and she takes one back to the puppies. Even though they're not using them yet, she's just stocking up for when they need them.
That's so cute. And again, you guys are 24/7 around the clock when you take care of these little babies, right?
Yeah, my shift starts at 1 in the morning, so that's why I missed my phone call last week.
Wow. And so what do you do at 1 in the morning?
Basically, I'm just supervising.
Okay.
I'm just making sure the moms, when they're in the first week, you have to be real careful. The moms, when they have, say, 9 babies, it's real easy for them to land one, and they don't seem to know because the puppies are too weak yet to get out from underneath them.
So how do you stay awake though? If you're on the shift, kind of watching, don't you want to doze off?
Well, I do a split shift sleep.
Wow.
I go home, go to bed, and get up, and then Gina will relieve me generally around 4, and so I can go back to bed a couple. That's why I'm just now getting to work instead of being here at 7:30.
So, can our listeners get a pup date still?
If they want the pup dates, just go to snowangelretrievers.com, and Gina does a daily pup date where she'll send videos and pictures of what did the puppies do today. Right now, it's pretty much eat, sleep, and watch them nurse. But eventually, it'll be about. Here we're going to learn about tunnels and all sorts of things, just getting ready for the world.
Yep, awesome. All right, how can people find you, Todd?
Hey, we're at 217-355-5051.
The Boofer says goodbye. So bye, Boofer.
Farewell.
He's ready to go to work.
Hey, you got it, buddy. Thank you, Dr. Todd Likens at Madison Kirby in Champaign, the Tapman's Towing phone line, a little on puppies and dogs on Tuesday mornings. Okay, we'll be back. I also going to touch on the Michael Oher story. Remember The Blind Side? Quite a movie with the Tuohys and the Mississippi couple that adopted Michael Oher, and not so happy right now.
Yeah, now there's a lawsuit.
We'll tell you about that coming up. I'll take this break. We'll be back. We'll get into the details, but it's not happy. What's next?
Whether your regular beauty counter has disappeared or you want a beauty refresh, then it's time to visit Merle Norman. Beautiful changes happen every day at Merle Norman. Whether you have a special event coming up or you're just in the mood for something new, you can depend on Merle Norman Cosmetics to satisfy all your beauty needs. From advanced skincare solutions to the latest looks and color, we're locally owned and ready to help you with expert guidance and award-winning products. No wonder we've been the go-to brand for millions of women since 1931. Visit us today at 706 West Market View Drive, over by Subway.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Looking for a place to land? Frasca International has cleared the runway. Hi, I'm Kent Dunford, and I've been a part of the Frasca family for over 35 years. Working at Frasca has been a long, enjoyable career and has allowed me to be part of something that truly makes a difference. We directly contribute to safety in the skies worldwide, both commercially and with our military. I've been afforded the opportunity to witness firsthand how our products impact our customers through my years of travel. The culture and atmosphere here at Frasca are family-oriented and flexible, which provides a good work-life balance for everyone. We are currently accepting applications for the following engineering positions: software, aeronautical, mechanical, and field service engineers. We also have positions available for composites and fiberglass technicians, electrical design associates, and project manager. Are you ready to take off? For more information on how you can apply, visit frasca.com/careers.
By now, you've all heard the expression, when you turn the key and the car won't run, call 367-9481 for PDR Automotive. They are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR. But who are they? They, the PDR staff, understand that a name is only as good as the people that represent it. The PDR staff has more than 335 years of combined automotive experience. Several employees now on staff for more than 25 years. PDR, more than just a name. Family owned and operated, now celebrating over 50 years in business. You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck duck goose because you do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
There will be a complete exoneration. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump posted that minutes ago on Truth Social, teasing that coming on Monday, he'll release a report detailing what he still claims was election fraud in 2020. This hours after a fourth Trump indictment, this one in Georgia. He again calls this a witch hunt, saying the district attorney is out of control and very corrupt. That Fulton County DA, Fonnie Willis, alleges the former president and 18 other Trump associates charged conspired
to block the counting of the votes of the presidential electors who were certified as the winners of Georgia's 2020 general election.
Former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani among those indicted with the former president.
The charges include violating the Georgia RICO Act. Now, this is a law originally created to take down mobsters. He's also facing charges for solicitation of a violation of oath by a public officer, among many other charges, including charges from his previous indictments like conspiracy to commit false statements and filing false documents.
Fox's Brooks Singman.
The district attorney is giving all defendants until next Friday at noon to surrender, and that is just 2 days after President Trump could be on stage at the first Republican presidential debate. But guys, he hasn't decided if he's going to attend just yet.
Fox News Radio will provide special coverage of the first Republican primary debate beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, August 23rd. You can listen at foxnewsradio.com. Cadaver dogs keep searching the ashes and ruins of the burnout Hawaiian town of Lahaina.
99 are confirmed dead, and that number is expected to rise with hundreds still missing. And identifying the dead has been difficult. Only 3 of the 99 people that have been found have been able to be identified with fingerprints.
That's Fox Weather's Max Gordon in Maui. We just got an update on the economy showing we shopped more than expected last month. Retail sales rose 0.7%. America's listening to Fox News.
Starting August 22nd, the U.S. dollar may have new competition from a new global supercurrency backed by Russia and China. And if the dollar plummets, your retirement could follow. Hi, Stephen K. Bannon. I recommend a gold IRA from Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get a free info kit on gold by texting the word shelter to 989898. I encourage you to act before August 22nd. Text shelter to 989898 to get your free information kit on gold now.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
President Biden has not commented on the fourth Trump indictment and may not as he gets ready to hit the road today.
One day before the one-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act becoming law, President Biden visits a clean energy manufacturing plant in Milwaukee, highlighting the more than $780 billion the legislation allocates for climate change initiatives.
The Inflation Reduction Act is the largest investment in climate action in history and puts us on a path to reduce emission by 50% by 2030.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the president, key cabinet officials, and Democratic lawmakers will celebrate the first anniversary of the law tomorrow at the White House. Jared Halpern, Fox News. News.
A terror bust has a 17-year-old in Pennsylvania behind bars accused of communicating with an al-Qaeda-linked group.
He had access to firearms and had purchased items and materials commonly used in the construction of improvised explosive devices. Some of these purchases had just occurred in the last few weeks.
FBI special agent in charge, Jacqueline McGuire in Philadelphia. The teen is facing multiple terror-related charges. The United Nations is worried about another terror group.
Its caliphate may have crumbled, but ISIS is still a credible force. Before being pushed back by an international coalition, the Islamic State organization controlled vast areas of Iraq and Syria. Extremists joined from all over the world. This report for the UN Security Council finds the Islamist group still commands between 5,000 and 7,000 members in its former stronghold. We're told it has adapted its strategy, choosing its battles and recruiting from vulnerable communities. ISIS also has a branch in Afghanistan where it rebels against a Taliban it considers not conservative enough. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
On Wall Street, despite better than expected retail sales, stocks could drop. Dow futures down almost 300 points. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. I'm Joe Miller. Champaign County Crime Stoppers asking the public for help in tracking down a bike rider who they say responsible for a theft. They said the theft happened in the area of Neal Street and Columbia Avenue July 9th. They didn't provide details about what was stolen or how it happened, but did provide a description and photo of the suspect. One person dead after a plane crash just outside of Verdon City limits Saturday morning, according to Macoupin County Sheriff. The pilot, the only person on board, identified as 62-year-old Gregory Bierman of Raymond. He was pronounced dead at the scene. They're investigating the cause. Illinois gun sellers taking their argument to the Supreme Court after last week's statewide assault weapons ban was upheld. Law Weapons in Naperville hosted a rally and fundraiser for their efforts Sunday. The owner says he stands to lose 85% of his business after the move by the Illinois Supreme Court. And that's a look at what's happening on this Tuesday. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Joe Miller.
It is 8:06. It is meteorologist Greg Solier who jumps on now. It's hard to believe that we'll be sweating this time next week, brother.
Yeah, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective of summertime, but that's kind of the one element that we really haven't had a whole lot to deal with around here. Heat wave environs. We've had it warm, we've had it hot, but minus the humidity, and rains to kind of help us along. A little too wet to start, a little too dry as well right after that, and then a nice catch-up pattern across our part of the world, nice and even keeled in the moisture department. So I suspect it's just the shake of the cards that allows us to get into this setup, whether you like it or not. And it may be the vanguard, the forerunner of what may be, will likely continue to be for that matter, an El Nino, a strong and moderate category since one. And so that could maybe lead us down the path of maybe milder as we get deeper into autumn and winter around here and less of storminess. We'll see what plays out here in the weeks to come as we put together the long range stuff. But in the short term of it all, that big wet weather system that played out from the Kankakee on northward still winding its way through the lower lakes region. Some good rains across Wisconsin. That's been the epicenter of the ongoing dry and drought-ridden weather pattern. Clouds beginning to break in a few areas. Some blue skies here and there. 64 will in Savoy later on this afternoon. High temperatures expected to be just a little bit shy of normal with a partly sunny sky and a freshening north wind, but comfortable for this August date at 75. Cooler tonight, 56. Sunshine near 80 tomorrow. Another cold front comes through late tomorrow night, first thing on Thursday. Quick little zone of some shower activity in the morning on Thursday, partly sunny at 82. You drop back to 78 on Friday, then warm to 86 on Saturday, 93 on Sunday, and many a day through Monday to Friday next week between about 94 and 96 with muggy overnight lows as well, and heat index values up past 100. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, it is 8:08 in Champaign-Urbana. We've been talking a lot about Donald Trump, gotten a lot of text in on that. Some of you agree with what we're saying, which doesn't feel fair.
But some of us are texting in and saying we're trolls intentionally trying to instigate conflict, hostility, and arguments.
There's one thing, and I always believe this about radio. The things that make you successful are passion and authenticity. This is authentic.
Yeah.
I'm not making it up as a bit. This is not a radio bit. We don't do radio bits. What we do is we talk about the news and what we believe in the news, and we have sharp opinions on things. things according to some of you. That's fine. And it's great. We got to be able to continue to talk.
Go back to that definition of the troll.
Okay.
Right? It's
intentionally trying to instigate conflict, hostility, or arguments in an online social community, either through wisecrackery, posting incorrect information, or asking blatantly stupid questions and other foolishness.
And that's an indication of what we have as the problem, which is being the trolls are the ones who accuse you of being a troll. And you can't discuss the issue because they're just going to say, you're just trying to make me mad.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm telling you that a guy can have a baby. And you can say, son, they can. And now let's talk about where you got that idea, because you can't. Oh, you're just trying to wreck the country.
Right.
Well, they're the ones trying to instill that distension, so it breaks down any kind of discussion.
Right. I didn't realize trolling is a fishing term. When you have bait along the ground and you're trying to have some, a fish take that.
Well, if you believe that I troll, then you haven't listened very long. I just don't do it. Right?
Well, no, you may be instigating some discussion, but I don't think you're intentionally trying to rile everybody up. I'm riled up, okay? Because I don't like what I'm
Johnny's
saying.
in town.
No, listen, but I don't say, let me bring this up because I'll get people mad. I don't do that. There's not a thought process.
Well, it's okay to be riled up, whether you're right or wrong, to state why you're riled up and talk it out.
Right.
And that's what's the real trolls are trying to stop any discussion. So you intimidate people into objecting on behalf. Well, like Steve, I hate to keep doing this, but the guy going to the girl, who's going to stand up for the girls? They're going to lose their scholarship. They can't play their sport. They're just going to have to take it. Well, somebody needs to stand up for them, and that's not a troll. That's somebody that says we need to look at what we're doing here.
Well, look at the intimidation. This has been going on. I'm sure there's intimidation when Donald Trump was president. The reporter isn't going to ask a hard question because they won't get called on the next day. And they'll be outside looking in, won't get information, won't get tips of the news they're supposed to break and all these other things. So you go to listen to a White House press room, very few are asking a question that's really hard or uncomfortable for them, and because they're afraid. They're going to be shut out. They won't have, so they got to behave.
They play it soft because they have a job, and if they get thrown out, they can't do anything.
Right. So on the outside looking in here,
it's just gotten too far, and there's no real pushback on some of these things, and especially in our media, which used to really kind of question things that seem way off the charts.
217-359-2255.
Someone texted me and said, have that liberal call in and, verbally debate.
Well, just talk it out. I would like to know if you would trust somebody who said, look, this person is fine, very, very good person. They just feel more comfortable as women, and they should have the right to be in the girls' locker room. I'd like to know if you would really trust that person with other issues, because it's like, no, you can't do that. Get out of here.
Well, where's the line when you educate a 6-year-old on being a boy or a girl? I mean, is that a good thing where you teach transgenderism at a 6-year-old age? That can't be right. Nobody can think that's right. Nobody thinks they ought to have, genitals removed when you're 6 or 7 because you made a choice.
Or even the hormone treatments and stuff. They're just too young. Lincoln he tells me I'm a T-Rex.
Yeah, you're 5-year-old.
For Jurassic Park DNA. I mean, come on. And then I'll say, oh no, I'm scared. He goes, no, I'm a nice T-Rex.
Maybe you're a nice what?
I'm a nice T-Rex.
Maybe we've all gotten too riled up from what they say. Maybe they're trying to troll me. Maybe that's
what my point was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what many are doing. There's a lot of people who passionately believe some of this, and look, I don't mind talking to them, and you're probably not going to get anywhere. But it's just calling names, I think, is a waste of time. Yeah. And it works very well. And our media does that a lot to us. They just call you.
You do 24/7
What are the things? You're an insurgent. You're a racist.
Bigot, homophobe, whatever it is. Yeah. And fear mongering, conspiracy theorist.
And you could come up with a bunch of names for someone who has a strong opinion about something, going both ways. And that's where I think we're losing our way.
217-359-2255. We will jump to our morning sports with Diane Ducey.
Well, congratulations, Cardinal fans. We're coming up winners over the A's, even though They're kind of bottom of the.
I figured the Oakland A's win every 4 days.
Well,
So-
I got to tell you, the comeback win against the A's isn't that impressive.
No,
But at least
listen,
they
no.
did win. They did win.
I mean, I was watching. It was fine. I fast forward the Cardinals so I can get them done in a half an hour, and it was 5-3 in the bottom of the seventh. I'm going, okay, that's just great. Anyway, the A's walked 9 Cardinals, and the Cardinals actually won the game.
The Cardinals collect a come-from-behind victory, defeating the A's 7-5 last night at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals lead 3-2 in the seventh, thanks in large part to a Paul Goldschmidt 2-run home run. The A's then put up 3 runs in the top of the seventh to take a short-lived lead as the Cardinals answer in a big way in the bottom of the seventh, collecting 4 runs to take the 7-5 lead. Miles Michaelis starts the game, allowing 4 runs in 6 1/3 innings, but 2 of those runs were inherited runners that were allowed to score when Giovanni Gallegos came on to pitch in relief of Michaelis. Neither Michaelis or Gallegos factor into the decision. Gallegos is charged with a blown save and does not get the win because the official scorer considered his outing brief and ineffective. Jojo Romero records the final 4 outs and is credited with the win. Game 2 of the series is tonight at Busch Stadium. Dakota Hudson is on the mound, looking to add to his 3-0 record. Game time is 6:45. We'll be on the air at 5:50. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
Okay, so the Cubs and White Sox were off yesterday. They've got a battle from Wrigley, and Kyle Hendricks will be on the mound. It's a 7:05 start over on US 105.9.
Milwaukee swept the White Sox. The Cubs have to beat the White Sox. The White Sox aren't very good. So, I mean, the Cubs are in it. This is real.
We're 61-57.
I mean, you're half a game out of wild card, 2-3.5 out behind Milwaukee, who's starting to win a lot, darn it.
Who's the wild card contender?
Well, you got Cincinnati, amazing.
The Reds are good.
Cubs, I can't think of the other. San Francisco's in there. So there's some, it's just close. So the Cubs got to beat the teams. Chicago has 12 games in a row where they're favored to win. You got to win 9 of them. You really need to win.
And
a
is
lot
the
of it.
wild card a 1 game?
Yes, 1 day. I think it's a 1 game, or is it best of 3? I can't remember anymore. They change it every year.
Right.
Okay, they do, because it has been 1 game, and
I
it
think
has
it's best
been
of
3.
I think it's best of 3 as of last year when the Cardinals were wrapping up Philadelphia and gave it away in the 9th inning of Game 1, and Philadelphia went all the way to the World Series because of that. That was hard.
Mm-hmm.
They had 1 out to go. I said, I'm going to listen to the car. We're going to win this. We're up 2. We lose.
Ooh.
Ouch.
AP
2 outs.
preseason college football poll: Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU in the top 5. When it comes to some of our Big Ten teams, number 7, Penn State. Number 19, Wisconsin. Number 25, Iowa.
We got some votes, and so we would, if you extrapolate out, we're 43rd.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, I'll tell you this. We beat Michigan last year. Now, I'm not being a bad sport. I mean, they were declared winner, but the point is our program went up to Michigan and basically beat that team.
What was
and
that?
They're good.
Got to put the quarterback kneeled down and picked up the ball.
I don't want to talk about Steve. I can't stand. I will disclose I can't stand Michigan.
It was tough.
The Fighting Line, I couldn't have made me much happier if they'd won the national championship when we beat Michigan in the second overtime last year, basketball.
Another
that was good. Yeah, that was real good.
Another trending story is the 2009 film The Blind Side. And Michael Orr, of course, it was his story.
I got a clip, and we'll explain it right after Fox Business.
Sounds
We'll
good.
do that coming up because I've got this clip of Sandra Bullock, who won an Academy Award.
And well-deserved.
Really, really a powerful movie, but now it's really, really not good of what Michael Orr has said in, I think, lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting, and yet, then the Toohey family came out and said, well, here's what we were doing, and here's why we did it. And so it's all kinds of conflict, and I'm wondering if Michael Orr's running out of money because he made a lot of money, won a Super Bowl too and everything. Right. I don't know what's going on, but we'll talk about it next.
Tapman's Towing team of experienced tow professionals is seeking others with CDLs, previous tow experience, and or strong interest in serving others. Please visit our career page at tapmanstowing.com.
BMW, Buick, GMC, Honda, and Subaru. Welcome to Sarah Champagne. We can handle all your car repairs on site, including paintless dent repair, bumpers, windshields, everything in between. We have an amazing selection of new or pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Shop from home and buy online or reserve your vehicle before it hits our website or dealership. Sarah Champagne is home of the Sarah One Price Promise, delivering an honest and transparent buying experience. Hurry in or shop online at sarahchampagne.com.
You spend half of your life indoors. That's half of your life underneath your roof. Who do you trust to keep you safe and dry underneath it? The name to remember is Roof Doctors. Roof Doctors understands the harsh weather conditions that your roof endures because they're a family and locally owned business. From your community, for your community, the doctors who make the house calls, Roof Doctors, at roofdoctors.com or phone 328-7529. Rest easy under a roof that's been treated by Roof Doctors.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Van Ham Saturday. Going forward for the rest of the week, pretty quiet and eventful spell of weather. Next weather system on the maps and charts for late tomorrow night into Thursday will generate some gusty winds and perhaps a couple of showers around Thursday morning. After that, that fast-moving weather system departs and a pattern shift heralds the arrival of another big hot high. This one likely to be centered right over the Midwest, the Corn Belt, and East Central Illinois over the course of the weekend. More so back into the weekend and much of next week and probably beyond. Frequent high temperatures up well past the 90-degree mark. Not today, though. Becoming partly sunny this afternoon. North wind in 75. Clear, more comfortable tonight. Cooler 56. Tomorrow sunny and 79 to 80 in the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night to 57. And for the day on Thursday, maybe a quick shower chance early to mid-morning. Partly sunny, breezy, and 82. 78 and sun-filled on Friday. 86 Saturday. 93 Sunday. Mid-90s next Monday and Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soul.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Americans were spending in July more than expected. Retail sales rose 0.4%. Excluding auto sales, the increase was 0.7%. The month included Amazon Prime Day and competing sales from other retailers. For the year ending in July, retail sales were up 3.2%, though the reading is not adjusted for inflation, so you may be spending more but not buying more. Another report on manufacturing from the New York Fed found activity slumped, a decline of 19 for that reading. Home Depot is reporting an upbeat quarter, both earnings and revenue top predictions, and Home Depot is buying back $15 billion worth of its stock. But there are new concerns about China's economy after it reported weaker numbers for July and lowered interest rates. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
New from the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
And I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
These are the stories that keep you up at night.
It feels good to support the people who support the community. And over the years, you'd be hard-pressed to find a company and a family more dedicated to Champaign-Urbana than Pepsi-Cola Champaign-Urbana Bottling. What John Trabella started so many years ago, John and Michael Comet continue today. And if you really believe in supporting an organization like this, why not work for Pepsi-Cola CU? Applications are being accepted for commercial drivers, merchandisers, warehouse associates, and a website social media intern. Full-time positions include major medical, dental, a 401k, vacation time, sick time, and paid holidays. But especially looking for drivers with their CDL right now. To view all the openings and to apply, go to PepsiColaCU.com. Then under the More header, click Employment Opportunities. That's PepsiColaCU.com. Pepsi-Cola Champaign-Urbana Bottling, an equal opportunity employer.
All right, it is 8:22. My name is Stevie Jay. All our guests appear on the Tammons Towing phone line. Brother Johnny's with us this week. Diane Ducey.
Good morning.
So one of the really good movies, this is from
2009.
Wow.
The Blind Side.
14 years ago. 14?
That doesn't seem that long ago.
Blind Side, about a young man named Michael Orr who really didn't have a good home. Family named Tooheys, the Toughy, Toohey from Mississippi.
Tuohy.
Tui, and purportedly adopted Michael Orr, and he went on to play at Ole Miss, and then he went on to play for the Baltimore Ravens, won a Super Bowl with Baltimore and John Harbaugh, the head coach. But you remember Sandy Bullock in the movie The Blind Side.
Michael, do you remember when we first met and we went to that horrible part of town to buy you those dreadful clothes? And I was a little bit scared and you told me not to worry about it because you had my back. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
And if anyone tried to get to me, you would have stopped them, right? And when you and SJ were in that car wreck, what did you do to the airbag?
Stopped it?
You stopped it. You stopped it. This team is your family, Michael. You have to protect them from those guys, okay? Listen. Okay. Tony here's your quarterback, all right? You protect his blind side. When you look at him, you think of me, how you have my back, how you have his, okay? All right, Tony, go back. All right. Oompa Loompa here is your tailback. When you look at him, you think of SJ and how you'd never let anyone or anything hurt him. You understand me? All right, go back. Got it?
What about Collins and Mr. Tui?
Fine, they can be on the team too. Are you going to protect the family, Michael?
Yes, ma'am.
Good boy. Now go have some fun. Yelling at him doesn't work, Bert. Doesn't trust men. In his experience, they pretend to care about you till they disappear.
So that's on The Blind Side, Sandra Bullock. It was a really amazing movie, quite a story. Well, Michael Orr, the real-life guy who was featured in this movie, came out yesterday and said he was never adopted, that the Tuohys made money off of him, that he made nothing on the movie Blind Side, and that they essentially kind of took advantage of him.
Right. In a court filing in Shelby County, Tennessee yesterday, Orr claimed that Sean and Leanne Tui tricked him into signing documents that entered him into a conservatory type shortly.
Conservatorship is apparently
after his 18th birthday in 2004.
And then the Tuohys said, after you're, and I don't know anything about this, but when you're 18, you can't be adopted because you're a legal adult. So conservatorship is the path you take, even though he was never part of the family from the standpoint of adoption. So he said they were in charge of all of his contracts, all of his stuff. The Tuohys said, yes, we made money on the book, but not very much on the movie. Michael said, I didn't make any on the movie. And I'm sure he made millions of dollars as a top tackle with the Baltimore Ravens. So I just wonder why this is coming up now.
So The Blind Side came by way of Michael Lewis, the author of the 2006 book on which the film was based. Michael Lewis gave us half of his share, said Tui. Everybody in the family got an equal share, including Michael, and that was about $14,000 each.
Okay, and why wouldn't you make money on the movie? You take a percentage of that,
I
wouldn't
think
you?
Michael did well at Baltimore, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was making, even in 2006 or 7, you're making $1 million as a lineman, right?
I think so.
I think so.
It sounds like a family squabble.
Yeah. It's too bad because so long
I
after.
like the movie. I think Michael did a great job in the NFL, and it's been
He's
a great
37
story.
now.
37.
Well, and probably not playing, I would think.
Right.
No, he's done.
Yeah.
He retired. But I'm just, again, you're wondering, well, shoot, I'm sorry to hear all this.
Right.
Because it was...
Court documents alleged Orr unknowingly signed away his life to the rights of the 20th Century Fox, folks, without receiving payment, for which Orr is seeking further compensation.
Sounds like Tuohy's didn't do that well either on it.
Well, it sounds like Michael wants more money and was never part of the family because I think we all...
Well, he was, though, I think, part of the family. Technically, I guess you could say conservative.
How that works.
But anyway, that's an interesting story, Steve.
And I think the dad was really kind of shocked by all this and said, I'll continue to love him like my other kids. Yeah. So anyway, it's out there now. And I remember we were at Oxford, Mississippi for a football game once. Grace was looking at Ole Miss for a while. And I saw the Tui tent, and pretty famous. The Grove.
Yeah.
Which is what it's called down. And I've never been to an SEC game till then, and it is quite different. Johnny has told me for years the SEC is a little bit different when you attend. And it truly, a lot different environment. Anyway, so that's your Michael Orr story that kind of made headlines.
The millions of dollars of royalties that are now going to be debated in court.
Okay, it's and not surprising, Hollywood got the best deal out of that. I mean,
in the end.
Yeah.
Well, you take a risk on a movie, Steve. You got to. That's capitalism.
Right. That's right. And you write a book. Anybody know when you write a book how much you make on a $20 book?
But the movie, it says here in a tweet, a $300 million box office take.
Okay, it's a big deal. And so what does a book author make on a $30 book? Anybody? You wrote the book. What's a book author make on a $30 book?
Hard to know, but I don't know how much.
They make $6.
What does 20th Century Fox make on a $300 million box office take? Maybe not that much.
I think
I don't know.
I bet you that was $125 million budget. I bet you they made pretty good. Depends on what it is. If it's like Marvel, it's a lot of money.
But the box office take the people running the theater.
No, they make nothing except on popcorn. Okay. Which, by the way, I did see Barbie the other night. And I don't think they make a nickel much. It's like gas. 5 cents a gallon is what the gas station makes.
I got you.
You make money on the $3 cappuccino.
Well, it said that Margot Robbie, who played Barbie, is making $50 million that she had in her deal that she's going to get a kickback if they.
No, they sometimes can work in a percentage of the sales kind of thing. But as far as the popcorn, I paid $18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
popcorn and a drink. And then she said, "What kind of candy you want?" I said, "I'm okay with that." She said, "Well, it's free."
Right.
What?
Well, $18.
It's part of the deal.
Oh, okay. I got
so you got the family pack or whatever.
So we don't go very often, so I went ahead and spent $18.
I mean, it's not $50 million, but they probably made 15 on that.
That's right.
But they got to pay rent, lights.
Lots going on.
And you don't even have somebody checking you in and giving you a ticket
not anymore. You just buy your own ticket and kind of walk in.
Yep. You have to go to the kiosk and then you select your seat and everything too.
Yeah. Well, we golfed in Great Britain, and we're going to all these itty bitty little golf courses, and sometimes they had a little basket of balls and they said, put money in the jar and see you later. There's sheep out there too, so be careful. Don't hit the goat. Okay, we're going to come right back. It's another half hour to go. If you want to text or call 217-359-2255. We'll check your news, weather, and sports, all coming up. It is now 8:30 in Champaign-Urbana.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. A Georgia grand jury charges former President Trump and 18 others in what prosecutors call a criminal conspiracy to overturn 2020 presidential election results.
Late last night, Trump was indicted along with 18 others, including his one-time personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, attorneys John Eastman, Sidney Powell, and former Trump White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows.
And the former president tells Fox's Brooke Singman there the indictment is politically inspired in time to affect the 2024 presidential campaign. He and his co-defendants have 10 days to turn themselves in. There are 99 confirmed deaths now in the Hawaii wildfires. Governor Josh Green says that number will go up.
A statement from Josh Green comes as search crews go street by street through neighborhoods where the flames galloped as fast as a mile a minute across the island. The governor says 10 to 20 people might be found dead each day for the next several days.
That's Fox's Tom Rigotti. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. I'm Joe Miller. A new law bans firearms advertising that target kids, militant groups, and others. The governor signing the Firearm Industry Responsibility Act. Illinois is now the 8th state with legislation eliminating legal protections for gun manufacturers or distributors. Move came just a day after the Supreme Court in the state upheld the state's assault weapons ban. One person dead after a small plane crashing outside Verdon over the weekend. The Coupon County Sheriff's Office and other emergency crews responded to the crash Saturday. The pilot, the only person on board the single-engine plane. The NTSB now investigating the cause. Illinois is now the first state to make sure child social media influencers are appropriately compensated for their work. Bill that goes into effect July of next year. Some parents are profiting off their children's social media status and cutting the kids out of their own earnings. Illinois is the first to specifically mention social media. You're up to date from the Stevie Jay Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Jets is hiring. Call 217-352-9992 or stop into 1907 West Springfield Avenue near Round Barn in Champaign. Jets is open till 10 p.m., Fridays and Saturdays till midnight. Are you looking for a side hustle? Here's Josh from Jets talking about the benefits of doing deliveries.
When I was a delivery driver, it was amazing how much the actual amount of money I had just shot right up. You have money in your pocket every single day.
For details on joining the team, visit jetspizza.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana vicinity, and the weather system that brought meaningful and substantial rains to the northern Corn Belt and the Great Lakes areas of the Corn Belt, largely bypassing our neck of the woods to the north and south, still auguring some gusty winds and some cloud cover over parts of the Midwest here, but we'll get breaks and some brighter skies as the day wears on. Next fast-moving system due in here late tomorrow night, Thursday, with a quick shower mention and another realignment to the upper pattern. This time, it brings that hot ridge of high pressure right overhead. Thank goodness it's mid to late August as opposed to July, but still, temperature readings expected to be well past the 90-degree mark beginning on Sunday. Becoming partly sunny for the day today, up to 75 with a north wind, 8 to 16 miles per bit gusty. Tonight, mostly clear, cooler, and diminishing northwest to west wind, low down to 56. Tomorrow, sunny, the high near 80 in the afternoon as winds come around southwest to south. Partly sunny on Thursday, maybe a shower chance in the morning, up to 82, 78 and sun-filled for the day on Friday, 80 Saturday, low 90s on Sunday. For Stevie Jay Podcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
We got 95 coming next week.
Yeah, we do.
95 to go. All the schools are air-conditioned now, right?
I think so. I thought about that. Here they are getting in the groove and starting things up.
Yeah, it used to be like, it's too hot.
And
right?
Will they say, it's too hot.
Aren't the air-conditioned, I don't know, is Franklin air-conditioned, the middle school? It wasn't when we were there. Anyway, maybe the renovations and the money.
Right.
Yeah, all that got fixed. Anyway, so we're back in school, and it's August 15. I know. Well, apparently we get a week off now. At least Unit 4 does.
Okay.
During the fall, which is a different. And
what's that for?
Well, I don't know. I mean, would you like to be a teacher for 9 weeks off 3, but no summer? Just 9 on, 3 off.
Kind of the year-round schedule.
Yeah. I mean, you better have air conditioning in that situation. But I would think as a teacher, I would probably do 9 and 3, and every 9 weeks you're off 3 weeks. That's a year-round schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Bethany doesn't have anything like that in New Orleans, does she, John?
Oh yeah,
9 and 3.
She doesn't have a summer though.
Right.
I don't like that.
No?
I like the 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
man.
3 months anymore. It's like 2.
Well, it's down to 3 weeks for her. I can tell you that.
But 3 weeks
she gets
every
14 weeks off during the year.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And so they're spaced out, and it's a different thing.
I mean, does she like it?
Yeah, she likes it. They have they got kindergarten, first and second, going back to 1790, all in one class, first, second, third.
Their school, this is Sacred Heart.
This is a charter school.
Okay. They have kindergarten, first, second, and third in the same class?
Not third, first and second.
In the
three grade levels in one.
How many kids?
About 12 from each area.
Wow, that's a nice number.
25, 30 kids.
30 total. That's a lot of kids in one class.
Yeah.
I mean, through 5th grade, I was always with another classroom in the classroom
Is that
at St.
right?
Thomas.
We never had that at Philo grade school.
No way, man. I couldn't have stood either class ahead of me or behind me.
And that's
the Franks boys were 1 year ahead of you, right?
And then my sister was 1 year behind me.
But Sister Marie Michelle in 1st and 2nd grade, she'd teach to one side, and then she'd give us our homework, and then we'd work on the assignment. Then she'd go to the other side and say, bring out your books. Now we're going to turn to this chapter. And then she'd teach that side, and I thought it worked.
I think it works. It works. Apparently, it works okay. If you certain technique.
And certainly, St. Thomas has been successful in Philo for so long and just growing. I mean, didn't Bob Rice leave some money? I mean, St. Thomas is in.
They're doing well and
really good.
Really great. Been great for Philo. Great school, and I think it's a really good thing. You know, there are a group of people from around here, and I guess they're having their 50th class reunion. They've asked me to come. So.
As a special guest.
Yes.
Just totally special. Had nothing to do with the years. You were, of course, much younger.
Well, I was in the class,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Question is, how many come to a 50th high school reunion?
We'll have a good turnout with everybody. We might get close to 100 people, but that's wives, you know.
One of my favorite DJ gigs is playing the music from the 70s or 60s or whatever. The reunions are a blast because you can really get thrown back by some of the music that you hear in the background.
I could actually be relevant at a dance like that.
There you go.
Because I knew the Doobie Brothers and all those other guys.
No, it's fun, and of course we've kind of kept in touch, and I might propose a 51st reunion where you get to bring your grandchildren.
There you go. That would be awesome.
That'd be different.
Anyway, 50th is a lot of years, and been a minute since John Schumacher picked me up in the back of a station wagon to go to the Unity football game, watch Johnny and Brucey play. And I remember Maggie May, Rod Stewart was blaring on WLS. Remember in Chicago?
There you go.
All that, but that was a long time. So, and then you say at this point though, you're kind of past the let's lose weight for the reunion point, aren't we? I mean, you're doing that for the 10th and the 20th.
And you're not dressing up as fancy. And I
was actually trying to lose a little weight for the reunion.
You were? I said at my last reunion, our new class motto is more in the middle, less on top.
Well, I've done
now the less on top. I
got that.
You
down.
got me cold. Although Gary told me to wear a hat.
Okay,
so they can't see it.
But is it when does it not matter anymore? What age is it where it's just like, yeah, it's whatever?
I think that's always been that way with Unity High School class of '73.
It's always been that way with me.
We've been kind of just ourselves, which I kind of like.
But when do people stop consciously thinking about 6 months? I got to look better for the reunion?
I don't think they ever stop doing that.
All right.
To some extent.
All right.
You're only human, Captain.
Right. And when it comes to the wedding and things like that, I mean, you're going to want to look your best.
Well, I am definitely motivated with my CrossFit to look better with Grace walking down the aisle.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to look like the normal guy my age. I want to look different.
And I'm motivated to look better than Steve when I walk down the aisle with Sarah than you do when you walk down the aisle with Grace. We're both having our
motivated. Sarah Diane is getting married to Drew, and that's coming up in October. And that's going to be quite a reception.
Grace
isn't it?
is December.
So
we're having one out in the bayou, like Water Boy. Remember Adam?
Yeah, it's really on the bayou.
Big snake cooking the alligators. Yeah.
Yep.
Is this a big venue?
Yeah. No, there's a lot of folks possibly. It's
a small wedding, right? Family wedding.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the reception is.
Well, Sarah's a sweetie,
and they're getting a band and stuff too.
Was Sarah
like there could be 400 or 500 people.
Sarah did not make the Unity because for Katrina, Bethany was a senior, correct? And Sarah was 1 year older.
1 year older, and she started at
Taylor.
Huntington in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Taylor?
Near Fort Wayne. Huntington.
Wasn't there college? Was Huntington College? It was whatever college name.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Taylor?
Taylor, I thought was in northern Indiana too. Anyway.
Well, there could be. This was Huntington.
Huntington, okay.
Okay.
So anyway, Sarah gets married, Johnny's last available daughter. So
yeah. So there you go.
There you go. All right. It is 8:40.
And your last available daughter.
Yes, that's correct.
Your only girl.
Yep. And so Benjamin remains the lone, non-engaged.
Right, because Christian got engaged this past weekend.
Yeah.
But that won't be as much planning since it's usually on the bride.
Well, I'm sure we'll be involved, but you're right. It's generally the biggie is the bride. Your dad's in charge of the bride.
And I never understood the financial part of the bride has to pay for everything. I don't get that.
I agree.
And you guys both are facing that.
No,
now.
listen, it's
the groom picks up the tab on the rehearsal dinner the Friday
and
night
some
before.
other things.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever they want to do.
I mean, and if you're open to negotiation, that's how I rocked it too when it came to the flowers.
And sometimes the kids will even be active in all.
Well, and you can do what's called a package bankruptcy. So Steve and I, we've got some other alternatives.
Yeah, exactly. All right, it is 8:42. 217-359-2255. You can always jump in. It is 17 before 9 a.m.
Well, typically when the Cardinals win, we give you your Redbird recap to relive some of these great moments. 7-5 was the final over the Oakland A's. Here we go.
The Cardinals collect a come-from-behind victory, defeating the A's 7-5 last night at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals lead 3-2 in the seventh, thanks in large part to a Paul Goldschmidt 2-run home run. The A's then put up 3 runs in the top of the seventh to take a short-lived lead as the Cardinals answer in a big way in the bottom of the seventh, collecting 4 runs to take the 7-5 lead. Miles Michaelis starts the game, allowing 4 runs and 6 in the third innings, but 2 of those runs were inherited runners that were allowed to score when Giovanni Gallegos came on to pitch in relief of Michaelis. Neither Michaelis or Gallegos factor into the decision. Gallegos is charged with a blown save and does not get the win because the official scorer considered his outing brief and ineffective. Jojo Romero records the final 4 outs and is credited with the win. Game 2 of the series is tonight at Busch Stadium. Dakota Hudson is on the mound, looking to add to his 3-0 record. Game time is 6:45. We'll be on the air at 5:50. For the St. Louis Cardinals Radio Network, I'm Matt Pauley.
Cardinals got a young kid. They brought it from AAA. His name is Lucan Baker. And in 84 games, he's had 33 home runs. And this man is 6'5", 260 pounds. He is enormous. I think he struck out 3 times last night. But boy, he's a power hitter now. If you get 33 home runs in 84 games, that is a power hitter.
Nice.
I don't know.
Okay, well, Chicago White Sox are visiting Wrigley to take on the Cubs with the 7:05 first pitch. Now, let's talk football. We haven't done that much when it comes to some of the shifts that we're seeing. Minnesota Vikings running back Dalvin Cook at the age of 28. Looks like he'll be with the New York Jets. It's a $8.6 million deal. Ezekiel Elliott, a free agent, is now planning to sign with the New England Patriots. He's known for his work at Ohio State. And then the Cowboys. Speaking of the Cowboys, Zach Martin with the Cowboys, $18 million per year. So that's a good couple years that he's reworked that deal. And when it comes to the AP preseason college football poll, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Alabama, LSU in the top 5. Then it's USC, number 7, Penn State, Florida State, Clemson, number 10, Washington.
No.
So these are some good teams that are coming into the Big Ten.
Yeah, we got Oregon, Washington, and USC and UCLA next year. So based on that, we have 5 of the top 10 because Washington's in there and so is USC. So.
Right.
All right, let me get some weather. We'll do that coming up. We got more in the next few moments. 217 texter says, I lost my vanity at 45.
Okay.
45, okay.
I was going to say around 50. We stopped really caring.
Well, Stevie, Kathleen sometimes listens, so text me when you can give you a haircut, because we got this reunion coming up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, got to get Johnny his good haircut.
Got to clean it up a little.
Yeah, got to do that.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
Illini fans, get ready to join Stevie Jay Broadcasting at Pia's for our kickoff event after 3 p.m. on Friday, September 1st. The Illini will face Toledo at 6:30 on Saturday. We'll have tickets to the game, coolers, koozies, hats, shirts, as well as jerseys for some of your Illini favorites. The first U of I football game is the 83 Rose Bowl reunion. We're planning on some special guests to join myself, Lonte, and Derek Piper on the air live from Pia's Friday, September 1st as we say, Go Illini. Pia's 1609 West Springfield Avenue in Champaign.
It's Emily Atkins. She owns something called Happy Healing. Tell me about what you have planned coming up.
September 9th, we have our spiritual spa day. We have 3 wellness practitioners coming. We have Brenda, who does sound bowl healings with crystal bowls, Drea, who does facials, and we have Emily, who does massages. So we'll be selling tickets, and so you'll have a half hour of each, and then I'll be there and we can make candles too. You can go to the website, happyhealing.us.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, bringing us our Stevie Jay Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month.
We just celebrate police because they ought to be celebrated, folks. Difference between anarchy and peace. We have Officer Chloe Folks. She is our Law Enforcement Official of the Month. She's at the Urbana Police Department. How do you stay positive when you see the bad guys all the time?
My coworkers, the family, the camaraderie we have, we're all there for each other. Our goal is to make sure everybody gets home safely at the end of the night or the day. It's really just the family atmosphere that keeps me going.
So if you see something not so good, you're able to say, shut it off.
Yeah, you got to have some kind of emotional detachment and separate work from home. It's hard sometimes. We have through EAP and different work things that we can have help us kind of through that. But like I said, it's really my coworkers that get me through it. And, we maintain a positive attitude just so we can help each other get home at the end of the day. And sometimes we face hard things, but we get through it.
Crossroads Contractor Supply, delivering within a 150-mile radius of Champaign-Urbana, supporting our law enforcement official of the month.
Pepsi-Cola Bottling Company is looking for drivers with their CDL and great driving record to join their team. What a terrific company, invested in so many charities in our community and giving their staff opportunities for growth, health and dental insurance, paid time off for vacations, holidays, and family leave. This is the type of environment you've been looking for, drivers. Of course, Pepsi is an equal opportunity employer as they search for a good representative of the company to help with deliveries. Learn more online at PepsiColaCU.com.
Hi, this is Kirk Lehman with Aftershock Decals and Design, and right now we are looking for an honest, hardworking individual that wants a career with Aftershock Decals and Design. If you have any kind of experience wrapping vehicles, tinting windows, we want you.
You can't touch this.
No, not that kind of wrapper.
You can't touch this.
Please go to our website at AftershockDD.com, click on the Jobs tab, and send in your resume. We want you. AftershockDD.com.
Chance in.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and this Saturday. Going forward for the rest of the week, pretty quiet and eventful spell of weather. Next weather system on the maps and charts for late tomorrow night into Thursday will generate some gusty winds and perhaps a couple of showers around Thursday morning. After that fast-moving weather system departs and a pattern shift heralds the arrival of another big hot high. This one likely to be centered right over the Midwest, the Corn Belt, and East Central Illinois over the course of the weekend. More so back into the weekend and much of next week and probably beyond. Frequent high temperatures up well past the 90-degree mark. Not today, though. Becoming partly sunny this afternoon. North wind in 75. Clear, more comfortable tonight. Cooler 56. Tomorrow sunny and 79 to 80 in the afternoon. We'll bottom out tomorrow night to 57. And for the day on Thursday, maybe a quick shower chance early to mid-morning. Partly sunny, breezy, and 82. 78 and sun-filled on Friday. 86 Saturday. 93 Sunday. Mid-90s next Monday and Tuesday. For Stevie Jay Broadcasting, I'm Peter Olchis, Greg Soldgate.
Yeah, okay, so mid-90s means 100 heat index.
Right.
So it's
and I had seen triple digits for next week.
I had too, but that was backed off. I think somebody actually typed it in for a joke because I saw 107. That's not going to happen here.
Or if that's the heat index, usually
feels like.
Yeah,
it's 10 degrees higher than the actual air condition.
And once they get down in New Orleans, is it hotter than here or no?
Well, we've been at 98, 99 for
With
the last 2 weeks.
100% humidity, right?
No, the humidity really hasn't been that bad.
Okay.
And the feels like it might be 105. Just bear in mind, it may make you feel a little better that your blood's 98.6. So you're in perfect sync.
Perfect
at
sync.
98.6.
Well, remember,
so in other words, it's not that bad. Now I remember when I was taking exams at Illinois, it feels like minus 17 because it was minus 17.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was freezing.
And for me, when I had Gabrielle down in Lafayette, Louisiana in 97 in September, that August and that 8 months pregnant.
Oh boy.
Oh dear.
That was bad.
Uncomfortable.
And boy, were my ankles swollen.
But Champaign, Illinois has a wide range of weather, including some very hot, humid weather at times. It just doesn't last like in New Orleans. There's the days when you do walk out, like you walk into a sauna.
Yeah.
That you're going to be damp. That's just to get to the car.
Yeah.
So
our family lived in India. Remember we were flying those little tissue kites at 115 degrees outside.
But it was a dry heat.
Yeah.
And see, when I came down to Lafayette, Louisiana and wanted to get in something that was really neat looking and old fashioned, the landlord was like, yeah, we got AC, air circulation. You see that ceiling fan there, Diane?
That's right.
All good.
Stevie, remember when we landed in Las Vegas and you could look it up on your iPhone?
Yep.
The hottest day in the history of Nevada, 124.
And remember how turbulent the landing was because the heat was rising.
It was
from
thermals. It wasn't that turbulent. It was just a drop every now and then. Sarah loved it. It was like a fair ride. I didn't like it.
I almost threw up.
Yeah.
And Nathaniel was kind of pale. Anyway, we got landed, and then we went golfing. And went quick story. We had a minute left. We went golfing.
We waited at 6 in the morning. It was only 94.
We wanted to go, and there was 20 senior citizens in front of us. And the pro came out and said, "These guys have a tee time. They go next."
Okay.
And they were waiting in line because
they didn't go well.
Their side of the course.
I've never been heckled by a 75-year-old.
I hope you have the worst round of your life.
Hope you have the worst round of your life. And then it was actually Johnny's best round.
Yeah, actually.
And so I was teeing off, and Johnny was whispering, "Just relax, just relax." Everybody's heckling me.
Yeah, they were not happy that we.
Well, it was 88 headed to 116. They won, but we had the tee time.
That's right.
And because it didn't help when our guy that got the tee time walked in the middle of it all and said, "We're next."
Oh boy!
And then the course pro said, "That's true. They have the tee time."
Yeah.
Anyway, that was
anyway, but that was hot.
I did do better at Augusta than there, but
unbelievable.
Other than that,
Johnny shot a 39 on the front
at Augusta.
At front of he shot a 39. He has the Calamity Jane is what Bobby Jones called his putter. It's kind of a bamboo shaft, and he was making all the putts.
And the best part of the story is I'm not very good, and I like to quote Apollo Creed: "Ain't gonna be no rematch."
There you go.
But you said it was a little eerie how many putts you made.
Yeah, it had the Bobby Jones designed the course with a guy who did golf courses, but Bobby Jones basically sponsored and built it, and then he invited people. After he retired, to play golf with him every year. Mm-hmm. It was called the National Invitational Tournament, which is now the Masters.
Yeah, great history.
Love it.
Hey, good discussion. Thank you for listening, folks. We appreciate you. We will be back tomorrow.
Hear the show anytime at StevieJay.com.
Boys are on this afternoon with The Drive. All kinds of football and basketball news. Teams back from Spain or getting back from Spain.
That's right.
Very soon. And then they're off for weeks. This is their last real break before they kind of get it going for basketball for 2023-24.
Go Illini.
All right, and Illinois football is 2 weeks from Saturday.
Which, by the way, it won't be that long because time goes faster and faster. Yeah. I'll just tell everybody out there, as you get older, time goes faster.
I don't know why that is.
It's August 15th.
But why does it spin faster when you're older?
I don't know. We'll have to get somebody who can explain that.
Hey, Johnny, thank you.
All right, thank you,
Brother
Diane.
Johnny, that's Diane Ducey.
Enjoy the day.
Thank you very much for listening on ESPN 93.5. Back tomorrow, God willing. Thanks for tuning in. Meet you tomorrow. Have a great Tuesday. It's Emily Atkins. She owns something called Happy Healing. Tell me about what you have planned coming up.
September 9th, we have our spiritual spa day. We have 3 wellness practitioners coming. We have Brenda, who does sound bowl healings with crystal bowls, Drea, who does facials, and we have Emily, who does massages. So we'll be selling tickets, and so you'll have a half hour of each, and then I'll be there and we can make candles too. You can go to the website, happyhealing.us.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Longwood, kiss that baby goodbye. It's gone a mile. Simmons touches them all.
On Friday, August 18th, the Cardinals host the Mets, and that night, 25,000 fans aged 16 and older take home a Cardinals Hall of Fame Car Parade bobblehead thanks to Ford. Fans will be surprised at the gates when they receive one of 2 mystery bobbleheads. Will it be Matt Holliday or will it be Ted Simmons? Which one will you get? Find out August 18th. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
Join the Champaign Parks Foundation for a fun evening of food, socializing, and entertainment at the iHotel and Conference Center with Champaign Park District's Youth Scholarship Fund to benefit from the new Ties and Tennies Gala. It's coming up on Thursday, September 14th, and you'll enjoy dueling pianos, a plated dinner, complimentary wine and beer, live and silent auction, and featured speaker Team USA Paralympian sitting volleyball player Nicole Millage. Learn more details. Visit champaignparks.org.
Illini fans, take the opportunity to head down to Game Day Spirit's Green Street location this summer. Shop their awesome selection of Fighting Illini merchandise. While you're there, shop some of their awesome buy one, get one free t-shirt designs, as well as their Nike section and so much more. With new styles coming in daily, there's sure to be something for every Illini fan. Shop at the corner of Neal and Kirby in Champaign, 6th and Green in Campustown, and online 24/7 at GameDaySpirit.com. Game Day Spirit, where Illini fans shop.
Country music superstars are taking the Illinois Lottery Grandstand stage at this year's Illinois State Fair. Kicking it all off is record-breaking award winners Old Dominion on Friday night, August 11th, with special guest Alexandra Kay.
I don't want to be a one-man band.
Megastar Tim McGraw hits the stage on Thursday night, August 17th, with special guest Landon Parker.
Always stay humble and kind.
And Grammy winner Maren Morris will bring hit after hit on Saturday night, August 19th. Tickets are on sale now 24/7 at Ticketmaster.com, the Ticketmaster app, or at the Grandstand ticket office during regular business hours. And don't forget to add your pre-show party tickets for only $30. Party before the show and be the first ones into the Grandstand. Act now. Don't miss these country powerhouses at the 2023 Illinois State Fair, August 10th through the 20th.
Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
Here's your OSF Healthcare Medical Minute.
Hi, I'm Dr. Philip Ovadia with OSF Healthcare. As a cardiac surgeon, I'm here to talk to you today about being heart healthy and how to stay off my operating table. And this really starts with paying attention to what you're eating. Eat whole, real food. Eat the things that grow in the ground and eat the things that eat the things that grow in the ground. You also want to be paying close attention to how much activity you're getting and how much sleep you're getting. These are going to be the pillars that are going to keep you healthy. One of the best ways to stay off the operating table is to screen for heart disease early. And to do so, I recommend coronary artery calcium CT scans, which are available at OSF. If you want to learn more, reach out to the cardiac team at OSF Healthcare.
For more information, visit osfhealthcare.org.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.